come up with a structured way of engagement, I believe quite a number of things will find solution. One example in point, Your Excellency, is you did some very fantastic job some few weeks ago when you summoned MCAs, wrangling MCAs. In the Senate, we have the devolution committee, which has been extremely busy visiting counties to talk to them, to talk to MCAs, to talk to governors. We are doing this because it is extremely painful to handle an impeachment motion in the Senate. And to forestall many impeachment in this country and in the county assemblies, we have decided to empower the devolution committee, not just to wait until they receive impeachment motions, but to go handle issues before they get to the level where a governor gets impeached. And that is where we can draw your wisdom from the office. And Your Excellency, in the few weeks coming, I'll still seek for Katasiko so that we can engage and see how we can structure our engagement. Lastly, Your Excellency, in my yester life, I was the governor of the neighboring county here, Kilifi County. And I used to serve as the chair of the legal committee in the COG. And one of the issues I used to push is the completion of the unbundling of the functions. We left COG with that still pending. Your Excellency, using your good office, it will be good if we complete this exercise. 10 years down the devolution journey, we cannot still be talking of not having completed the unbundling of the functions. And therefore, as we come to engage you, this is one of the issues that will be on our plate to see how we can be able to discuss it and find a solution to unbundling the functions. Now, once we unbundle, the magic about unbundling a function is because once you unbundle a function, you can be able to cost it. Today, the reason why the majority whip has given you many figures, from the executive, we're being given 380, from CRA, we're being given another figure, from the Council of Governors, we're being given another figure. The reason why we have many figures is because, one, we have not unbundled the functions, and two, we have not costed the functions. When we unbundle and cost the functions, the amount of money, the final figure becomes rather automatic, because you need to ask yourself, if we unbundle the health function, for example, cost it. If the national government was the one to implement the health function, how much in this financial year would it incur? Then transfer that money to the county governments. So we will not even be talking about we have met the constitutional threshold of the 15%, because we will have gone function after function. So, Your Excellency, these are the areas that we believe we can draw collaborations, partnership with your office to see to it that we complete this particular exercise. It is not my time to make any speech, Your Excellency. This is your day to talk to the Senate. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now my humble duty to call upon the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to come and make his remarks. Kindly karibu, Your Excellency. Tuendelee nyayo sio? Twende. Karibu. Rigiji. Uzungumze na senators.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Let me make a few remarks of what has been written for me by people who are paid to organize my thoughts. And then I can say something from my head. The Speaker of the Senate, Right Honorable Amson Jeffer Kingi, the Deputy Speaker, if present, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Honorable Stephen Twigg, the House Leadership, Honorable Senators, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure to join you this evening for the closure of the 4th Senate post-election seminar. I wish to thank you most sincerely for your patience and participation in this noble cause for the last few days. His Excellency President William Ruto and I are appraised of the progress you have made and effort put forward. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, during this seminar you have exhibited great enthusiasm and interest in learning, sharing valuable experiences, and keen to benefit from the rich presentations and discussions led by our distinguished resource persons from diverse parliamentary jurisdictions, notably Australia, Canada, and South Africa. This will go a long way to enriching your level of debates and contribution towards House business as you discharge your mandate. Once again, on behalf of the Executive, I convey gratitude and a big thank you for sharing your valuable experiences with our political leadership. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, during this seminar, a myriad of issues, challenges, and opportunities were canvassed and deliberated upon. A few of them have risen as pertinent highlights that they require some reaction, engagement, and further deliberation for viable intervention. It is my hope that the House leadership will take appropriate measures to dispense of those matters for smooth running of the House business. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, allow me to focus on separation of powers. There is need to observe and embrace the significant separation of powers in managing relations among the three arms of government. And on this note, I urge sobriety and mutual relations towards our common purpose, that is delivery of quality services to the people of Kenya. In the same vein, I believe that dialogue and consultation based on mutual respect between the Senate and the Executive would conclusively address the matter of pending bills, which remains a big challenge for most counties. In fact, this has caused immense pain to many Kenyans. It must be resolved once and for all. Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators, further, I encourage the Senate to propose amendments to various pieces of legislation to compare regular and output-driven performance from county governments. This is squarely within your oversight mandate. If a bill is done with proper public participation from a bipartisan approach, it will serve the common good once enacted. Honorable Senators, parliamentary practice and procedures are an important component in enhancing democratic governance of our country. I encourage you to make use of the floor of the House for the interests of every Kenyan and for the good of our nation. As I conclude, I strongly urge that public interest be at the core of our operations and programs. Let us aim at yielding the highest dividends to the people of Kenya. With those few remarks, it is my pleasure to declare this seminar officially closed. God bless you, the Senate, and God bless Kenya. Let me now speak one or two things. Nothing controversial, really. I want to say this. Despite a very heavy schedule, I deputize a very active president, a man who has kept us on our toes to an extent that many people who joined this government are in deep thought whether it was the right thing to do. The president has given me 9 functions, well spelled out in the executive order, and he had 3. And the 10th one, that is deputizing him and carrying out duties assigned to me, carries 50% of my time. But despite all that, I had to come here because among my duties is to oversee intergovernmental relations between the 2 levels of government, to make sure that there is seamless relationship for the benefit of the people of Kenya. For me to succeed in that function, I need the Senate more than it needs me. That is the truth. That is why I'm here. And first and foremost, let me take this opportunity to congratulate those of you who are elected through the ballot and those who are specially elected, pongezi. And I want to say, I know, because I've gone through the ballot. Being elected is not a joke. 100,000 people who slept in different homes, turning up one morning and they have not met and agree that you are the right person is not a joke. And therefore I want to say congratulations. And it is for that reason that I have told our officers in the National Government Administration, irrespective of which party you belong to, they must accord full respect to elected leaders. And they don't have a choice. It's not an option. It's a must. And we have told them, if you don't like the senator of this or that county, hiyo ni shauri yako. Provided wananchi walipenda yeye, that is your view. And your view is irrelevant in that matter. It is you as an officer of government who is posted in that county to find a working relationship with the elected leaders. And it's not the other way around. And in the unfortunate event that you cannot work together, you know very well who is to exit. Because elected leaders cannot go on transfer. They belong there. And even if you don't like that leader, hata kama hako na jicho moja, huyo ndio wananchi walipenda. So we have asked them, and you have seen since we came to office, the harassment that was there on elected leaders, by administrators, by security officers, is a thing of the past. And we have told the county commissioners and the OSPDs and the DCIOs, we don't need them to help us to do our politics. We have enough lobby groups. Friends of RUTO, Wamama na RUTO, Walembo na RUTO, sijui nini. We don't even know what to do with the people who are helping us with politics. We have told administrators and police to do what they are paid to do and keep off politics. And we have told them, in any case, it's only somebody foolish who can ask them to help you in politics, because where they tried, they failed. So if you try to get people who cannot help you, you are going to fail. I want to say that the role of the Senate in making devolution work cannot be overemphasized. And I appeal to you in a very robust manner to oversight the county governments and make them work and make sure that every cent appropriated to them is used for the benefit of the people in your county. Please, that is a duty that you have. You owe to the electorate, you owe to God, and you owe to humanity. Please oversight the county governments, but do so with responsibility. I also want to add that the issue of unbundling the devolved functions to the counties is one thing that President William Ruto, in his inaugural speech on 13th September in Kasarani, committed his government to do so. We have scheduled a summit meeting followed by an informal retreat with our 47 governors next week to discuss this matter and conclude it at that level. And to proceed that decision, in the supplementary budget, we have proposed 90 million shillings that the IGTRC have asked to facilitate them to unbundle those functions. And you know, once unbundled, resources follow functions. So that is something that we have a commitment, and next week we are going to do it. Why the President has agreed to sit with the Senate, with the governors for 3 days informally, it is because of his level of commitment to the success of the devolution. Before we came to office, the summit was never convened, and many things that would have been dealt with at that forum were not done. We have committed ourselves to have the summit meet regularly, and again we are going to have informal discussions. One of the things we want to agree with the governors is that this issue of going to court between the two levels of government is unfair to the people of Kenya. The lawyers of the governors are paid by the people of Kenya. The lawyers of the national government are paid by the people of Kenya. It is a loss to the people of Kenya. And most of those things we can agree by sitting down and talking informally before we can formalize them. I'll be extending an invitation to the Speaker and the House leadership to come and also talk to the governors and have an interaction, so that if there are issues that you think you need to raise at that level informally and that can help in creating a good relationship, you'll have the opportunity to do so. In matters IBEC that I chair, I agree with the bullfighter, my good friend. It is the role of Parliament to appropriate funds. All we are trying to do is to be decent. We are trying to see whether we can arrive at something that is acceptable to everybody, so that when the matter comes to you, your work is much easier. The previous administration had encouraged the National Assembly to view the Senate as their enemies, and that is not the case, and it should never be the case. Our leader here of majority and the chief whip know they have clear instructions from the president that the Senate and the National Assembly are not enemies. The leaders of the National Assembly are properly guided that they must seek a good working relationship between the two houses of Parliament for the benefit of the people of Kenya. We therefore believe that most of these things can be sorted out where the two houses are not antagonistic. And that must start with the President and I by respecting the Senate, so that our leaders in the National Assembly can follow suit. You know when the leader shows Madarau, the junior people just follow suit. All these county commissioners who are disrespecting elected leaders, it is because that disrespect was being shown openly. Leaders were making abusive remarks about elected leaders in the presence of the civil servants. So they knew that is the official policy. Ourselves, we have told them, in private and in public, any elected leader, it doesn't matter from what formation, must be accorded due respect. And we have told them to try and get elected and see how difficult it is. And therefore, they must have that respect. Finally, I want to say that we'll try on our part, and Speaker will agree as early as next week when you can pass by, we have a chat, to create a good working relationship. Many people who are in Kenya Kwanza know me. I'm a very easy guy. Those who are not with us, please don't believe what you read in the social media and in the other media about me. I'm a very easy guy. I'm a guy who have come from nowhere with nothing to where God has put me. I've remained a very humble person. I respect everybody's opinion and I listen very keenly. So I would like to have a very good working relationship with the Senate and the leadership, because we need each other, and I need you much more than you need me for me to succeed in that function I've been given by the President. So my office is open. We are available 24/7. We have no other work to do ourselves, myself and the President. We are through with educating our children. We have no other work to do other than to serve the people of Kenya on a daily basis. And that is why when there was trouble in Kericho, I looked for the MCAs and I told them that that situation is unacceptable. They cannot store development in Kericho, and they cannot have Kericho being in the press for all the wrong reasons, and they have been properly aligned. I am working on Meru, and I want to thank you for the decision that you made in the Senate. Meru, for me and President William Ruto, is a critical county in our scheme of politics and mathematics, and we would not want Meru to go the wrong way. I have met the members of Parliament, I have met the MCs, I have met the governor, and on Monday we have a discussion. I am going to mediate to create peace and harmony in Meru County for the development of the people of Meru to proceed without problems. I hope there will be no other problems elsewhere. In the unfortunate event that there are problems elsewhere, I'm available, because we must make devolution work. And there is no way there will be progress in the midst of noise and conflict. We will try from where we sit to mediate and create peace and harmony among elected leaders for the benefit of the people of Kenya. So I want to say I'm very grateful that you called me here, and I look forward. I was in the National Assembly. I had friends in the Senate. I have many friends here. Others will become friends, and we are easy. Call on us anytime, and we have no issue with anybody. Sometimes we may make very serious pronouncement out there. It depends on the circumstances of what is happening. So today we have no reason to say anything acrimonious, because that's the way the situation is. But that does not tie us that if situations change, we will not comment. You know, this morning, Bonnie, I've received more than 200 invitations to attend Harambes. You know, the Uhuru government had taken my money. It was released yesterday. Now everybody is planning for that money. That's the world we live in. Kila mtu ananialika Harambee, because it sounds like a lot of money. So that is the situation. And because I'm a son of my mouth, the Mau people are saying it's their money. So this is the world we live in. So from time to time, we will say one or two things. And I want to say, we want to ask the Senate to back the President and the Executive in ensuring that everybody must pay tax. It doesn't matter who you are. We are going to develop this country with our own resources, because we have stopped borrowing. Because we are saying, if you are in a hole, don't continue digging. First stop digging and figure out how to get out of the hole. And one of the ways of getting out of the hole is collecting tax from everybody. It doesn't matter how far back it goes. And also stopping exemptions. Nobody will be exempted from paying tax in this country. And if you want to be exempted from paying tax, you buy an advert in the newspaper and apply to the people of Kenya. The President, the CS National Treasury will not exempt anybody from paying taxes. So let those who have not been paying taxes not get jittery. Just make arrangements. You have not been paying tax, well, lipa kodi. And if you have a problem with what we are asking you to pay, we are open for discussion. You can come, we agree on how to plan, on how to pay kidogo kidogo. You can pay us $1 billion every month mpaka umalize. Kuna shida? Kuna haja kupiga kelele? Ya Mungu ni ya Mungu, ya Kaisari ni ya Kaisari. It's very simple. It's in the Bible. What we are doing is what is in the Bible. Tax you must pay. And everybody must pay tax. Senators, you pay tax. Your pay slip is there. Unalipa kodi hapo. Kama wewe ni senator umechaguliwa unalipa tax, hata wewe utalipa. Hata ukipiga kelele, hata ukienda wapi, kodi utalipa. And that is, and there is no negotiation, because how we are collecting 2.2 trillion against a budget of 3.6 trillion. All the 2.2 trillion is enough for servicing public debt and paying salaries. We have to borrow money for development. And that money we are borrowing for development, the people who are in office, they were lending money from government to their own banks at 14%, at 12%. This country was sinking into a hole that will not get out. So we stopped that borrowing, and we are saying, instead of borrowing, let those who owe Kenya money pay. And that money we shall collect, and there is no discussion, and there is no let-off, and we will not be intimidated, because we have a responsibility to the people of Kenya. The issue we had with the Council of Governors is a simple matter. They are asking for 425. CRI is saying, in our scheme of mathematics, you can give 407. The national government is saying, that is good. 425 is good. We can give it to you, but we don't have it. 407 is even better, but we don't have it. We only have 380. So, if you want to hang us, we are helpless. If you want to remove our trousers and whip us on the buttock, go ahead. We don't have the money. Na sisi ni watu ya kuongea ukweli. What we don't want to do is to cheat governors that will give them money that we don't have. They were promised 50 billion, it never came. We are having problems giving them the disbursements every month. We are 3 months behind. So we are asking them, if what was in the budget, 370, we have been unable to give you. If we give you 425, it will just be a lie. President William RUTO and I are Christians. We saw with the Bible before God and the people of Kenya to always speak the truth. We have no 425 to give to the governors. We don't have 407. We will try to look for 385. We will try. We are not promising. We will try. And one of the ways is to collect taxes. So, nyinyi mkiona tunapigiwa kelele kwa tax, nyinyi msiingie kwa hiyo kelele tu, mnyamaze if you cannot support us. You don't have to support us. You can just keep quiet. But we will try what we can do, and we have told the governors, if we succeed in increasing revenue from 2.2 billion to 2.2 trillion to 3 trillion, it is public information. We'll just sit again with the calculators, and all our phones have calculators. We just make sure you put a new battery so that you get the right numbers. Then we sit down again and calculate, and we'll give you your percentage. But right now, this is a figure, is what we have. Take a calculator and see what you can get. It is that simple. So when the matter finally comes before you, please look at all the factors, look at what is possible, look at what is not possible. You are elected leaders, you are responsible, and make a fair decision. Don't force us to give lies. If you force us, we shall lie, because you are our bosses. Nyinyi ndio wenye kusema kwa mambo ya appropriation of funds. If you even decide you force us to give them 500 billion, ni sawa. Lakini itakuwa ni udanganyifu na uongo. Na hiyo President William RUTO na mimi, hiyo maneno ya uongo, mtu samehe, hatuwezi. We are not able. Sisi ni watu wa Mungu. Mungu alitusaidia tupate hizi viti, na hatuwezi kuanza kumchanganya na mambo ya uongo, because ni dhambi kuongea uongo. So as the matter comes before you, apply your discretion. Kindly take into consideration the state of the economy, take into consideration the revenue levels and our obligations in public debt, in salaries, and all that surrounds finances, and make a fair decision that is implementable and that will be beneficial to the people of Kenya. With those very many remarks, once more, I want to say thank you very much. May God bless you, and may God bless you abundantly. Governor, you have said whatever little money that we have, we spend here. If you are targeting that 2 bill, I have not been given, because the court order has not yet come. I hope you are not targeting me. So whatever little I have, I'll spend here. Lakini sio ile ilikuwa kwa gazeti, hiyo hakuna. So tumeshukuru sana, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as the Deputy President walks out, the rest of us will briefly hold, allow for a photo session, and then we come back as senators for the promised togetherness meeting that we call Kamkunji. Your Excellency, you may now leave at your pleasure.